Hello everyone, this is Rotractor Richa here and I'm the president for the Rotrac Club of Lala Lajpat College. And today we are here for a very small podcast, I'll say, where we'll be talking about Rotrac leadership and various types of community service that the club has been doing since many years. But when we come to general body members, it's their first year where they are witnessing how Rotrac Club actually works. So before we start with this podcast and understand how and what they exactly know about Rotrac, let's have a short introduction. So we'll go with you.
Hi, I'm Rotractor Dhyan Rudadia, GBM for the year.
Hi, I'm Rotractor Garima, General Body Member for the year.
Hi, so I'm Rotractor Meet Jain, a General Body Member for the year.
And before, I already know your names, but let's start with something new. So, give me one reason. What exactly gave you a motive to join Rotrac? A reason or something which made you feel like, okay, we should join this movement, we should join this club. Because, very frankly speaking, you guys are newbies. The day you guys walked in, within the first or second week, you have taken membership, right? So there needs to be something or the other, or some factor which pulled you towards Rotrac, right? So who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, I vote for Garima.
Okay, the exhilaration of learning new things at the fellowship kind of the college.
Okay, so how did you exactly know about that you can actually work on your personality and everything? This is something where someone needs to sit and explain that particular individual that Rotrac say you can actually work on your personality, work on community service. And the way you just kept it on, okay, it feels like you already knew about that. But we are done with our introduction, okay? So before we start with the Q&A and the questions which are listed down for you guys, let's understand why you guys joined RC Lalas. Okay? So we should have a factor, a point where we feel like, okay, we need to join this club anyhow. Okay? So I also had this moment. Before तुम लोग के पहले मैं बोलती थी. Let's start with me for this question, okay? For me, it was my very first day, and first day मतलब it's orientation of course. It's my 11th standard. So we went. मेरे को एक ऑडी में अच्छा जगह मिल गया. Thankfully मेरे को जगह मिल गया था. We sat down and then after 1 hour, orientation finally started. Trust me when I say this, 2 घंटे it was so boring. It was so boring. And those 2 hours I was waiting for, when Rotrac announcement will happen. Because I was knowing about Rotrac from through my friends. I was already knowing कि Rotrac club होता है and it's quite active and whatnot. But पता नहीं है ना membership किधर से लेनी है. So I was waiting and finally at last Rotrac club का announcement हुआ. So there's this ma'am who came on stage and she's like, okay, we have some last few special announcements. And there comes a guy wearing a varsity. Coming on stage with no script, just a mic, comes, stands in front of the whole crowd and starts speaking. Like as if उसने पूरा रट के रखा है Rotrac क्या है, but I'm pretty sure उसने रटा नहीं था. He just knew what is Rotrac, he just knew how to say that, ठीक है? And the way he presented that, I was like, okay. I was already very fascinated. I was like, okay, I'm joining this Rotrac club. It's good. Quite good. और मेरे आजू बाजू जो बैठे थे ना, मैंने उनको भी बोल दिया मैं ज्वाइन कर रही हूँ, आप भी ज्वाइन कर लो, ठीक है? Because I was knowing no one. So it was Rotractor Malcolm Akaria who came on stage. So I was his member apparently that year. So he talked about Rotrac, he talked about freshers, he talked about what not. And I came outside orientation and उन लोग का membership desk बैठा था. मैं गई, मैंने देखा desk बैठा पर मैंने लिया नहीं था. So I guess within that week I took my membership. And yeah, here I am sitting with you guys now. Okay, so that was my reason why I took that membership, because I wanted to become that confident enough where I don't have a script and I'm just going on stage talking about Rotrac as if I know everything about it. So yeah, what was your reason to join Rotrac?
Okay, alright. Since my school time, I have been a person who is into extracurriculum. So there is this club, RCHR. They organize an event called as Yard Award, and I have been a part of that event for the past 2 years. So somewhere down the line, I was familiar कि हाँ, what is Rotrac? What is Rotrac? Something like that. So this one time, the auditorium. You all just came up, you were on the stage, and the BODs, Meg, Prince, like all of them were in a tray, and
Yes.
then there was this club shout, and it was just banger. That moment was something which I think I cannot relive as someone who was not part of Asila or something like that.
Okay, wow, that's great. Okay, so we'll go ahead with the next person. You can. Okay, then you can go ahead and tell us a story why you chose Arjun.
So like I saw one of my friend's story in which it showed some RC Lala's event of treasure hunt. So I was fascinated. Like what is this RC Lala's and also मैंने like try करने के लिए गया तो I searched for 2-3 events for RC Lala's. Then I thought finally like it's fascinating, so I just joined.
Okay. I remember when you came with a membership amount and you were like, okay, I want to take membership. So I clearly remember that. But what about you, mate?
So me being an introverted shy guy, being in a phase full of new people. So there was a random person that I met during the mega orientation, and he was just blabbering some very good things about how Artiala works and everything. And I was just intrigued while listening to him, and I was like, then I saw the enthusiasm that you guys were bringing on stage and everything. It was just like, yeah, I need to join in.
Okay, works. So somewhere or the other, the orientation plays a very big role.
Yeah.
For the introduction, right? Okay. Now that we are done with the introduction and the icebreaker, let's talk about how Rotra actually works and what exactly people look forward to learn from Rotra. Okay? One of the major point and major perspective which comes into the picture when it is about road track is leadership. If you see, let's go on the stories of our icebreakers, right? The reason why you wanted to join road track, you somewhere knew ki, okay, it's very fascinating how a person comes and talk about road track, okay? And you had sat for I guess 2-3 events, and you just thought ki हाँ कितना अच्छे से plan किया है. When it's about events and all, a person who's chairing that event needs to know how to lead that project, how to plan that project, okay? And talking about you, you somewhere just joined road track because one of your friends introduced you road track hota hai.
Yeah.
But somewhere or the other, you also mentioned that orientation played a very big role, right? That show, that video, and everything. So in baseline, it's majorly about leadership. So let's have a conversation about leadership, how this particular topic works around road track, okay? So I have the very first question for you on this topic is, in your opinion, what does leadership truly means in road track, in an organization like road track, okay? Where for a person of age of 16 years old, we are asking you guys to sit, plan events and chair those events, gather the logistics for the same. So that's a pretty big job, I'll say, for a student age of 16 and exploring all these things. It's a quite good thing. So what do you think about that? Who wants to go first?
I know.
Okay.
So mainly I feel the main phase of Arsilalas is the bond they have. So like leadership is the main part of leadership is their bond. Like a leader should have the bond with the members or GBMs. So the planning and all they do according to the people, the interest of the event and the aim, whatever they want to teach the members.
Okay, that's a quite good question. Answer, I'll say. But you mentioned bond, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say that's a culture that Lala's has. It's a bonding culture that we have. We know that when we are done with our events, we have this culture that we'll go and sit in a canteen, we'll talk, we'll do some masti, because that feels like college life. That feels fun. So what about you, Garima?
Okay, there is this thing about me. I strongly believe in the quote. Everything is a win-win when when your goal is to experience things. So back when during Red, I was the ACL, and I feel the one thing which I experienced was how to articulate and execute ideas and to tackle situations unknowingly and to meet and socialize with new people and learn their interests and hobbies and try to know them, socializing overall.
Okay, so that's how you think leadership plays a part in road track. That's a quite good answer, I'll say. But what about me?
Can I get a chance to think?
You got a chance to think. Okay, definitely think about it. You can actually use some examples. Like, just like she mentioned an example about her being ACL for Red, right? How she had explored the part of leadership, where she needs to take charge, how she needs to lead people, how she needs to guide people. That's how she gave an example about that, right? So even you can take an example and go ahead with that. Because somewhere as an individual, I feel you don't need to become a president or a director or a core team member to have leadership qualities. You can be a leader even while being a GBM with different responsibilities.
Right, so leadership for me would be seeing people happy under my creativity, under my thought process and everything. As you mentioned, like chairing events, thinking about it, finding logistics and all of those stuff. So yeah, for me it would be seeing people happy under my creativity and under my leadership.
Okay, so that's how you think leadership works in
Yeah.
Rotaract. Okay. Okay. Now that we actually had a conversation कि leadership कैसे चलता है Rotaract में. Now I want to know something which is I'm genuinely interested to know this. ठीक है? Tell us about a situation where this thing कि हाँ I need to take a lead. I need to initiate things now. I need to make sure that this thing is working properly. Okay, a situation where you realize that you have to lead now. Okay, that can be anything. Okay, that can be as much as एकदम pathetic भी हो सकता है, or it can be something genuinely big. But that's where you realize कि okay, responsibility ही नहीं, अभी करना पड़ेगा, अभी option नहीं है. And I guess everyone has that one moment where they realize कि okay, now we need to buckle up and get things right. So who wants to go first for this?
Alright, so I had this initiative named as Stranger Things. So as you guys might already know, the season 5 just released a few weeks ago. It was all hyped up like when
Months ago, it's
It's
months
like
ago
months
now.
my bad, I am just in the zone of the Stranger Things.
Oh my god.
So yeah, solid whale mics and everything. So I was like, we need to do an event. It's gonna be interesting, fun, and intriguing for all the members and everybody here at RC Lalas. So everybody was just busy with nominations, club work, and everything.
I guess that time we had Astitva.
Yeah, we
Yes, we had
Yeah.
Astitva. Yeah. So of course the club was busy.
So so I took help of Vivek. He really helped me out with all of the planning process and everything. So yeah, at that moment I realized that I had to buckle up and do something.
So yeah, that's a time where you realize that you need to start leading stuff, take initiative,
Yeah.
and make sure that the plan is executed. Okay, wonderful answer. Tell me that one situation where you realize that you need to take leadership position now.
So lately,
Bolo, bolo.
I was chosen as the mock president under
Of
the
course, I knew
initiative
this is coming.
under the initiative of House of Rotaract by RC Lalas. So I'm the mock president for Rotaract Club of Mumbai MAFCO.
Let's go Mumbai.
Let's go. Yeah, so in the initial phase, I was facing a lot of problem of to getting my members active and making them work and all. So like for the first 1 or 2 weeks, I was like solely working with my IPP, while making the JPEGs and the logos and etc. etc. So that time I felt okay, I need a team. So I was just waiting for
You were waiting for the proper opportunity where,
proper.
let's say, a proper, a moment where everyone starts working. Let's say for us as a club, I guess you just joined Rotaract and तो बहुत subtle था कि हाँ कब you used to come and then you used to एकदम get गायब. But that one moment which made you एकदम proactive and Rotaract was अस्तित्व. So that kind of situation, I guess that's a point. That is a point of time. A factor which is required for every Rotaractor to kick in. Ki, okay, now we need to buckle up stuff. Now we need to get started with this, that, and whatnot. So I guess that one thing was something that you, as a mock president, for the initial time, was searching for. Ki, what's that one thing that can make my whole core work for some time?
So like in Astitwa,
Yeah.
I had before Astitwa was very inactive, but
Yes,
yeah.
of course I know that.
But I just thought I'll give it a try as a HOD.
You came for TMS, I remember that.
TMS.
He was
Yes,
sitting
Opera House.
right beside me.
Okay.
You might not know.
Yeah, so after TMS, I was completely inactive. Then I got chosen as a HOD for Astitwa. That time I thought, come on, I've got chosen, so I'll just prove myself to the RC Lalas and the protractors, Richa, Ghosh.
Oh, okay. It was, I guess I was very clear about this stuff on the very first HOD meeting that I had with Astitwa HOD team. Guys, either you work, either you leave. We have only one thing to do in Astitwa. But I guess one thing I was very proud of is Astitwa. I saw a team where every single person I saw working. People who were not even in the team of HODs were working. I saw them staying back at my place for creatives, for calls, for NGOs, for logistics and whatnot. That made me realize that okay, when we want to achieve something, the club, puts everything to achieve that. So maybe that kind of situation kicked in after 3-4 weeks. I guess after 1 month you released as mock president. That 1 month you took that time to create your core, to make your core, to give them motivation, that one motive why they should work for. And I guess somewhere I like this one thing about your team is they do a lot of masti. Okay. Maybe working, chairing events, bringing people, this, that, what not. But somewhere or the other, it comes to one thing कि guys अभी event हो गया तो मस्ती करने चलते. That is the mandatory. So that is something I love about GBM heroes. That is, and that's where I feel every single retractor, the moment you ask them what was the most cherishable, something that you cherish, or year that you cherish, everyone will say that GBM year was fantastic. That I guess that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So okay, so for Dan it was his mock presidentialship where he, took up that position. So we'll go on Garima now. Okay, let's ask her what was her time where she took on lead and started leading stuffs.
Alright, so there have been endless times throughout my school life to college journey to take up leadership roles, and it just does not limit to leadership roles. With leadership roles, I think there are a lot of factors which people don't speak about.
Okay,
Okay, so
that's
I
a good
think
perspective.
my favorite role would be the mock president. I wouldn't say that. Okay, on a random Tuesday night, I get a call from Richa. Richa is like, Garima, tu mock president hai. I was too confused to speak कि क्या ही बोलूं. Out of nowhere, I just get a call around 10 o'clock कि अब हम तुझे मीटिंग में रिलीज करने वाले हैं as the third mock president. And I was like, wow. I was almost at the verge of crying, but I was like, no, you're not gonna cry. Okay, when I just got released, I met Dhyan and Tasha. And also later on, I think when I made my core, when my core got released, I had my core meetings, core vision, core videos. I wouldn't say that it was very ऐसा lemon squeezy, easy kind of thing. It was difficult, extremely difficult. Coping up with new perspectives, socializing with people whom you haven't met in the past. Like, तुमने अलग-अलग perspectives देखे. When you are deciding a vision, I think there are two visions as a president. One is for your core, one is where you showcase कि
What you exactly want.
हाँ, exactly my point. And it was difficult thinking for a vision for my core, for the club. So yeah, that's all.
I guess our project is doing justice to what we actually want, because we somewhere wanted to deliver that experience, how it feels to have that, that hierarchy of being a president, how it feels to make their own core, how it feels to operate with so many people with different egos, I say, because after all, when it comes to core human beings, it's all about different perspective. So I guess you guys are doing a great job, and even me, you're doing a great job handling the So yeah. So now that we are done with leadership, we'll quickly move on to the next topic. Okay.
Alright.
Before that, we'll take a break. I know you're feeling too cold with sun. Okay. Welcome back, guys, for our podcast. For a very short podcast, we took a break on that. So let's get back to our topic. The next topic we have on our list is community impact. Okay. Now we came from Rotrack journey. Sorry. The reason why you guys have joined Rotrack to leadership, and now let's come for community service. Okay, community impact. So my first question for you guys is, if you were given the opportunity to start a service project today, what issues would you address and why?
So
Should I repeat?
Already.
No, right? Okay, works. Who wants to go first
You
here?
want to go
I'll go
first?
first.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go.
So I'll just give a brief. Like the main point when I became active was Astitva. That was one of the main community service events, a mega initiative.
Flagship projects.
Yeah. So after that, I've got many ideas of this community service and all. So like one of the comms events I have in my mind is to focus on the illiteracy faced in Dharavi, in Mumbai, especially in Dharavi.
Basically in slum areas,
slum
in simple
areas,
words,
yeah.
let's say.
Because like many of the people don't, many of the kids don't go to schools and just start working at a very young age. So I would like the few events in which we'll go and teach them, or
So that one project for service which you want to start is something which will focus on illiteracy. Okay, that's a good point, I'll say. And I guess we have been already targeting that, and we have launched a year-long initiative named as English to English. Through a year where we are teaching students grammar, because when we had visited few schools and we realized कि, okay, we can actually target a lot of topics, but we realized one thing कि Marathi medium schools में and Hindi medium schools में people don't focus on grammar and English. So what if we target that one subject? Because you know the difference Marathi medium and English medium में किधर आता है कि okay, these people don't know how to speak in English, they don't know how to represent themselves. You know, this few things change them a lot. So that's how we started with an initiative. But that's a great idea. We can actually, you know, plan something out for that.
Let's go.
So what about you, Garima?
Okay, it might be a great impact or maybe not, I'm not sure, but there is this day which comes up in August called as Divyangam Mahotsav. So basically on this day, the people who are disabled, who cannot walk,
Specially abled, basically.
yeah, specially abled, I would love to celebrate them for once, like make them feel special.
Okay. So it's like have so basically you're saying me कि let's give them a day where you make them
Yeah.
feel special about. Okay. Is there anything else? Any other community that you would like to get? You might not know the exact plan. Okay, come on. I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to come up with a proper foolproof plan, right? But a community that you wish to do something for. Let's change the question a bit. Okay, and let's come to this thing ki a community which you want to do something for.
Okay, maybe go in rural areas and educate the kids and the women about personal hygiene, education, and as you mentioned, literacy rate, and a lot of
We
factors.
can add a different perspective to that. We can also add maternal health, because that is something people don't focus on when it comes to slum areas, and I guess even aside from suburb areas, maybe if you see, that is something people don't focus on. People think कि हाँ, it's casual, हो जाएगा, stress नहीं है. But that point of time, that period, that 9 months are very important. Mentally, physically, everywhere. So yeah,
I
I
would
feel.
also like to mention domestic violence and all for women. You could do women empowerment and some, and you.
Okay, you don't have a proper plan on that, but you are saying me कि we can actually have some kind of awareness done,
Yeah.
a proper project through. Okay, that's a good idea. I mean, that's something new I heard on this topic. Okay, okay. What about you, Meet?
So the community I would go for is the Ladakhian community. I don't know why you're sitting in Mumbai and worrying about them, but I just feel
You should worry about them.
But there's just a thing in Ladakh that there is no proper transport or communication there. There are some electrical shortages there, and the people don't really live up to it. And मैं क्या बोलूं?
Okay, Meet. Now tell me that one community project that you want to do, or maybe if not community project, if let's say you don't have a foolproof plan, you can tell me a community that you wish to target.
Alright, the community that I wish to target would be the Ladakhian community, because I
Okay.
believe and I've seen everywhere that there are just not proper transport measures. There's water scarcity there. Then there are some electrical shortages there, and the people there don't really get the living that we get here in Mumbai properly. So it's just that it's not properly developed, the architecture there and everything. So I believe that we should just raise some awareness here in the city of Mumbai and just help them out.
Okay, that's something new I got to know. I've been an Indian, and Ladakh is obviously a state in India, right? So not knowing about this thing, and people are quite unaware about all of this.
Yeah.
So it's more about awareness Well, because I feel if there is a proper awareness about this, people will focus on that. Okay. So now that we are done with the communities, that I realized there are few communities that you guys are quite interested with. Okay. Now let's have a proper closing. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. One last question for all of you. How do you see yourself contributing to Rotaract and the community in the next few years?
I would like to go last.
Okay. Okay.
So I've not thought really about this, but I would.
Look, I'll just give this question away again. How do you see yourself contributing to Rotaract and the community in the next few years?
So I've not really thought about it, but I'd like to contribute as in like smaller. I won't do major. If I'll be able to do major contributions, I would be loving.
Now that we are already done with all the questions, yes, we are. Hopefully, we are done with all the questions. One last question for you guys. Okay, that is, how do you see yourself contributing to Rotaract and the community in the next few years? Who would love to go first in this?
I would like to go last.
Okay.
Okay.
They are
so,
not good. Okay, yes. Chalo.
So I would mainly focus on monetary contributions to the community and Rotaract, but through Rotaract I've realized that monetary contributions are not enough, and like physical, like to be volunteering in events and community service events, like in NGOs and Asitwa.
Astitva, yes, I guess we volunteered at 2-3 places for yes, but that was particular event. But we also had recently went for sapling plantation also for that. Yes, so I guess that kind of NGO work will help. That is, I guess volunteering is something that you want to focus on.
Yeah,
Right?
not only monetary,
But also voluntary. That's a good perspective because for community service, monetary, yes, of course, it is important. क्या ही होगा बिना पैसे के? Of course, but along with that, only money cannot help everywhere. We need people, to volunteering for good purpose, good cause. So yeah, definitely a very good answer. The next.
Alright, so from my childhood, I've always been a part of my grandfather's charitable trust. So, what he exactly does in a charitable trust?
That's it for the podcast. That was the set of questions that we made to understand what do you guys think about Rotaract, what do you guys think about community service, impact the community faces after the projects that we do, because many people feel that it's time pass. Very frankly speaking, few people work for CCRs, few people do community service just for the sake of it. But I wanted to understand what do the Rotaractors, newly becoming member Rotaractors, think about community service. That was wonderful having this podcast with you guys. Lastly, I would also thank Team Vry to keep up with such tasks where we actually take some time out and talk about perspective. And I guess without this task, we won't be sitting here discussing exactly what we think about Rotaract, what we think about community service. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's true. I've learned many things right now sitting here about different communities.
I learned a lot of things from you guys. Okay, this is the way you guys think about different things. So yeah, I guess we exchanged our perspective more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you.